Okay, I wanted to give a little demo for how to work with processing in pyp5js. So this is not quite processing, it's ever so slightly different. And just wanted to show you what exactly that means. So it's basically processing, as we talked about, it's slightly different. If we go to the documentation, um, you'll just see there's actually a list of examples here. I haven't looked at before. Cool. Um, let's see. We should be able to then. Oh, here we go. Oh, cool. Um, so that's nice. Actually, maybe we could even. Well, let's skip that. Let's stick to the 2D examples. Those are a bit easier. Oh, looks like we have even breakout. This is obviously a very large game. So there are a number of examples here. These are obviously a bit larger, but we can also just work with this expanding sphere example that we worked with previously. It does mention down here there are some known issues and differences between processing.py and the way of doing things with this. So just be sure to be aware that there might be some differences if you copy and paste code from the processing examples. Some of them may not work. It does also say remember to use p5js method names and conventions for most things. Um, so if you're looking for the reference, remember that it might be different. So here we can see rectangle and ellipse. Those are the same as we had in processing, but some of these other functions might be a little bit different. For example, there's a special blue color, that gets the blue value of a color. I don't think that one existed in processing. These set blue, set green. So there's a few minor differences here, but again, these are all functions that you should roughly be familiar with. We've got our rotate, scale. We were using some of these in class. It has examples for how to use all of these. Now you will notice in these examples, these are using these curly brackets because this is p5js. It's a slightly different language, but the function is exactly the same. It's still rotate. So if we go back to our example here, and I'm going to change this to a rectangle, um, and if we say rotate rotate by the frame. I'm just choosing something arbitrarily here. Frame count divided by 100. We'll get some rotation. As you saw there. Um, looks like it rotates off the screen. Set this to 0. Rotating around this as maybe if I just change it to 10. See this. Okay. Anyway, rotating rectangle. So this is the basic idea. Again, all of the documentation is available here, so be sure to just keep that in mind. Now, what are you supposed to do for this first project, for this assignment? The idea is that we're going to take our example code. I'll start with our example code here. If you're using the web interface and this is what's most comfortable for you, this is what works. If you don't want to grab other examples, you could just start with this example, and this is a totally fine example. What I want you to do is follow the steps that we outlined in class, where the first thing you do maybe is start by modifying some of the parameters just to see what changes. Okay, so now we've got this. We could change this. Let's see. Let's actually check the documentation. I'll show you the process of checking the documentation to see how fill works. Let's see, we should have something. Fill. Here we go. And yeah, it looks like we can pass in 3 different integer values as well as a name of a color. But I think it's going to be easier for us to just pass in these colors. So I'm going to go ahead and pass in, I want this to, um, Try this. Change colors. Okay, it looks like it's changing between maybe black and pink, I guess. But remember the frame count keeps counting up, so maybe we do mod 255 just so that this wraps around. I think it will become black to pink and then switch back to black again. Cool. Okay. And so the first thing you should do is start by just changing some of these parameters. And you can follow along exactly with what I'm doing here if you want, just to start. And I'm just changing numbers, trying to see what happens as I change some of these numbers. And so, for example, here, what I'm looking for is I want the color to be changing faster. And so I'm multiplying the frame count, which makes things change faster. So, okay, cool. We've got some sort of flashing circle. And what I'd like to do now is maybe I want to add multiple of these. So I'll do for I in range 10. But of course, if I do this, they're all on top of each other. So I'm going to need to offset these by maybe I times, I don't know, 3. Just try something. Okay, cool. And maybe I'll add, I'm just choosing things sort of randomly. I want something a bit more dynamic that changes over time. So I'll do frame count. Actually, maybe I'll try something else. I'll try sine of frame count. So sine's going to go from -1 to 1. Let's do this divided by 100 to slow that down, and we'll maybe multiply this by 10. I'm just sort of choosing numbers arbitrarily here. Oh, and I think they are moving a little bit. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're definitely moving to a little bit more. Ooh, okay, cool. And maybe we could use I in here as well so that each of them is different. Maybe we should, oh, can't see any of them. Maybe that 10 was too big. Frame count is going to get, frame count's going to get very, I is just 0 to 10. We just had I here. I think it doesn't like this. If we did, rather than times 20, we did 20 times I. Ooh, okay, cool. I like that. That works. Nice. Sort of a springy effect. And it might be cool if this whole thing rotated too. So let's add a rotate. I don't know. I'm going to do rotate X by frame count. This is the basic idea. We just keep changing things here. Oh, maybe that was too much. Didn't like that. This might be an issue that there's an error. So what we can do is inspect console. It looks like it doesn't like something that rotate X is only supported in WebGL mode. Oh, I think maybe the function we wanted was rotate. Indeed. Hey, nice. We are rotating. Spinning around. I don't know what it's rotating around. We would have to check the rotate document. This one, rotate around the coordinate system. Rotating the coordinate system about the origin. Oh, what is the example here? It's everything. Oh, you can use angle mode degree. That's interesting. In any event, we could try rotate. Oh, here it comes again. Going around a big circle. think this is because we're offset from the origin by 100. If we were not offset from the origin, okay. Oh, I think actually what we would need to do is translate, right? Oh, there we go. Nice. So we've translated our shape to the center, and this means actually the origin that we're rotating around is the center as well. Now we're getting this kind of swingy thing. And actually, I think this might look good if we did no stroke. Forget what that was called. Stroke weight. No stroke. Disables the outline. Do no stroke. Ooh, that's kind of wonky, kind of fun. So this is sort of the idea that I'd like you to go through. And now if you look at this and you compare this to this original example of the slowly pulsating blue circle, I think you'd be able to say, yes, this is definitely something distinct. Maybe the other thing to do, we could change the background color. Just add frame count a few times here. Maybe we'll do sine of frame count times 255. It's going to be negative, whatever. Doesn't really matter. We can just try random stuff here. Cool. Okay, nice. So this is definitely a completely distinct piece from what we had started with. So this is the process that I would like you to go through. Right, and the code overall isn't that much more code. Still, we only have 12 lines of code. It's not too much. We've just added frame counts all over the place and mod and sine and an extra for loop. So this is kind of the basic idea that I want you to do just to get practice with coding in an exploratory mode. So you start with something and you're trying to just discover how these functions work, what you can do with this. It's not coding guided towards a particular goal. It's really meant for you to sort of find out what the goal is as you are coding, sort of like the creative coding process that I want you to go through. So how do you know when you're done with the project? Well, you're done when you look at something and you can say to yourself, yes, this is interesting. It's something I'm excited about, and it's definitely distinct from what I started with. If you're working just with the example, if this is your starting example, then you're asking, is the thing that I've made really, truly distinct from this initial example? And I would say at this point, yes, it is. Just want to try one more thing. Let's maybe make this a too. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I kind of liked it as the ellipse better though. So yeah, that's sort of the whole process that I'm hoping you'll go through for this project. And then the last step, of course, is to record a video. And ideally, what I'd like to see is a video just of the recording, just of this thing here. So we could always make this, an easy way to do this is make this a lot bigger. And then you could just scroll over here and get a screencast of just this part, or crop that screencast, or whatever it takes to try and get just the output. We don't really want the code in there as well. It really should just be about the output. If you want to do some video with the code, that's okay as well, but I'd like you to actually think about, can I make this a piece on its own? All right, good luck everyone, and let me know if you have questions.